3 years ago, I boarded an international flight. That was the first flight in my entire life. I didn't even know how to wear a seatbelt. I was too scared to ask about it. I didn't even had any lunch or any meal during the entire journey because I was too terrified what if people judge me. Fast forward today, I live in Ireland, work as a full-time data analyst and working on my YouTube channel on the part-time side. And the best part, everything was built from scratch by me from ground up. And in this video, I want to share exactly how moving abroad changed me in terms of confidence, relationships. I'm not gonna act as a guru here. Treat me like a friend who is just a few steps ahead of you in this journey. And I'm just gonna share honest reviews about how I went from an underconfident kid to whatever version of me I am right now. I feel it's more confident. By the way, if you are new to this channel, I'm Tanmay, a full-time data analyst and a part-time YouTuber living in Ireland since 2022. And in this video, I'm gonna share about how moving abroad has changed everything in my life. Let's begin. First part, it has to be confidence, because back in India when I used to have conversations with people, I used to feel like, oh, they are doing great, and I used to put a lot of people on pedestal that, oh wow, insane, that's great. And whatever decisions I make or whatever decisions I take, every single time I had to think 100 times. Even like sending a WhatsApp text or applying for any role or taking any action in general, I used to think 100 times, what if it's wrong? What if you're doing it wrong and you're not capable enough and everything around that? So I was very underconfident. Even this example which I talked about previously in the introduction, that when I took the flight from India to Ireland, when I was coming here, I had no clue about how to wear a seatbelt, and I was so afraid of asking it to someone because maybe they would judge me, or I had no confidence to ask someone how to take it off. So that was very weird. Of course I knew how to wear it because it's just simple, but to take it off, that's the caveat. And even like when the flight attendant came to serve meals, I was like, no, I'm good, I don't want any meal. So that shows how underconfident I was, because I was so terrible about the fact that maybe people around me on the right and the left, I had the center seat unfortunately, so people on the right and the left would judge me for the fact that how is he eating, and has he not done it before, which now when I look at it, that didn't even matter. But of course, like for someone who is in his 20s, like literally, and it is difficult growing up. Also, you are usually compared with other folks, and then that also shatters your confidence, but we are not talking about that. So that just goes on saying how underconfident I was. And then moving here, when I came here, it was all English speaking country, like people have the accent and then their native language is English itself, and I was really bad at speaking in English. So I used to stutter, stammer when I was talking, and then it also reflected in terms of confidence, in terms of communication. But then after 3 years, now that I am here, I am able to build communication. I have a really good circle of friends from all over the world, like Spain, Germany, like everywhere. And the fact that I have built everything from scratch, then the loan, getting a sponsorship, getting a job, getting a part-time which is high paying, then completing the course with really good grades, everything was done all by myself. And that has built next level confidence that, oh, okay, you are able to deal with every single difficulty that was thrown at you. You just came out of it like a king or like a warrior who just won the battle. And this sense of achievement has built a lot of confidence. So the thought process which goes around it is basically like, say you have built this from scratch, so anything happens, let's say next month, or anything happens, if everything goes down to zero, you know that you will be able to build it again because you have done it already. This time maybe it will take lesser time because you did it without any resources, without knowing anyone here, with like a huge debt on your back, and then with 0 rupees in your account or 0 euros or dollars in your account, and you were still able to manage it pretty well. So after 3 years, it definitely took time, efforts, emotional breakdown, but after that, on the other end, that's this version of me who is more confident, who is more emotionally stable, and who just believes in myself. One book which helped me do that is Manifest by Roxy, and that is a really nice book. The title says manifest, so it's a 7-step procedure how you can manifest the dream life you want. In the first chapter, it talks about the mindset, and you should believe what you are. But See, because initially when I used to set a goal, I used to challenge myself that, hey, like, I don't think so you would be able to achieve that goal, which is very terrible, because then you are telling your own self that you won't be able to achieve that, and you yourself don't believe in it. So how are you gonna achieve it, right? So that's the first chapter, and hence I think that book helped me to build a lot of confidence, and just talked about how visualization work, how you can do all that. So that's a 7-step process. Give it a read. Then coming to the second point, which is rejection tolerance. Okay, as an international student, you come here, you graduate, and then you start the job hunting, and it's not easy because every other factor is playing against you, like your visa liability, the fact that you are an international student, then you have only limited time on your post-study work visa. That is also, like, the time is playing against you, because in that restricted time frame you have to land a job or else you'll have to go back. Then the loan pressure, which if you are taking a loan, pretty much most of us do, then that pressure is building up. And then your peer pressure, like maybe you would have peers who are getting job, who are getting internships, who might even like paying off their debts through part-time. So that all just comes down to you, and you have to manage everything. Also, not let that affect your next job application. So you are rejected, and then you shouldn't affect that rejection or take that as an emotional baggage and then go and apply in the second place, because it will be affected and then you'll be rejected there, then there, and the cycle goes on. It's like a domino effect. Now that it is done, I think I'm not afraid of rejections anymore. I can just go anywhere, anytime, and just talk to random people. And it's like, even if they don't reply, it's fine. It's kind of like fear of rejection, right? Even if they don't reply, it's fine. Just to give you an example, recently we went to a pub and a friend ordered a drink, and she said like there's no alcohol in it, and I was like, okay, if you don't think like it, ask the bartender to, like, replace the drink, or just tell them. And yeah, maybe this might sound rude or whatever, but then they were like, everyone on the table was hesitant to go, and I was like, what's the worst would happen, right? They'll just say it's there, or they might make some faces. And after like having this whole job applications and rejections and everything, now that brain is developed like, oh, anyways, if I don't ask, the answer is anyways no, so why not ask and make that chance of yes and no 50-50. So just took the drink, went to the bar, and just said, I don't think there's alcohol in it, as my friend said, so do you want to try and see? But then he said, no, that's how it works, and blah blah blah. But that's not the point, how good the drink was. The point is, you just stood up, went to the bar, and straight away asked it, without caring or without giving a damn. So I don't know this example is relevant or whatever, but you know how to bounce back, you know how to deal with rejections, and that is the best thing, right? Because see, in job, maybe you are applying for a job, and then in the interview they are like that everything looks great, but we are not able to process it. And then you wanted to say something in defense, but you couldn't, because you are too afraid that what if that just maybe they just reject me. Because okay, let's paint this picture, like you are in the job setting, the interview went well, everything is perfect, and they are like, yeah, everything went well, we are ready to hire you, but this will be the pay, which is very less than what you were expecting and slightly lesser than the market standards, whatever. Now you have to negotiate, but then the fear of rejection kicks in, and then you're like, oh god, I don't want to do this because then I might lose the opportunity. So if you don't ask, you will still settle in the low salary. But if you do ask in a perfect way, you either have the chance to go above your salary which you are currently working on, and also not get rejected, right? So that fear just went away, and the confidence in the interviews shows up as well. So it's again like relating to confidence and this fear of rejection. So I'm not sure if this this point made sense, but I think this is one of the key soft skills which you need to develop. Not soft skills, but mindset which you need to develop is be okay with rejections, be okay with failures, because if you're not tasting failures, then success won't taste good, period. Then the third one is communication. As I talked about it, everything boils down to communication. After all, we are social animals. We need to go out, we need to hang around with people, and it all happens with communication, right? So communication is a very important part in terms of friendships, in terms of relationships. So I think like this 3 years or this moving abroad has helped me develop or work on that part, because back in hometown, maybe I had this bunch of friends whom I used to hang around with, but here you have to find and then communicate and then talk to them to build that network, right? So you don't have any option. Either you sit in your bed the whole day 24/7, or you go out, communicate, develop that skill, and then talk to people and then build a circle around it, and again you are like talking to people and then just communicating. So that has, I think moving abroad has helped that, because you don't have any option, you just have to communicate. So, and even with the interviews, with talking to strangers, talking to people, it just helps. And one point about communication is I would like to emphasize on is the relationships. So when I was in India, I barely, like, there were occasions where I used to miss dinners, family dinners and everything. But now I realize the importance of that. I realize the importance of healthy family, because whenever you're sick, your mom used to, like, my mom used to cook chicken soup or something to, you know, give it to me, and then if I'm sick, the whole house is sick, just period. Like, not literally, but they used to think that way, and then they used to pamper and everything. Here you don't have that luxury. Here you have to do everything on your own. That just make you realize how important it is having a family and having the support system. So like I talk about it in a lot of videos. To give you an example, when I was not getting a job and everything, if this is the first video you are watching, then I just called my dad and I was like, it's not happening, I want to come back. And then literally without thinking, he just said, come back, it's fine. That just one sentence lifted off a huge emotional pressure from me. And I mean, that was the day when I got the job as well. So it was so insane, I think. Another example I would like to give is, I realized that it was like 1 month before I was planning to come to Ireland, and I was traveling with my dad from my village to my place, which is Pune. So in that conversation, I just thought about it, like, until now, I didn't even have to think about grocery, didn't have to think about what meal I'm getting tonight, or, you know, planning. Everything was handled by dad, mom, and like me and my brother didn't have to look into it. So that was a luxury, right? I could only focus on one thing, which was study or business or work or whatever. Now I have to, so I just thought, like, when I come here, I have to think about money, I have to think about managing it, I have to think about groceries, I have to think about meals, prepare. It was too much. And that's when I realized the importance of having a really healthy family and having a really backup system. So I think the distance has increased between us, but it just brought me closer to them. And now I know the importance of people, having good quality people in your life, how important it is, because alone you'll just get depressed, and you need that social pressure, and you need that emotional support to help you operate better and have fun, of course. The best book I would recommend was, this is like an old classic, which is How to Win Friends and Influence People, because it's not about always you talking to people, it's also about good listening skills, how whatever people are trying to say. And sometimes it's like when some people are just ranting about a particular thing, it's not that they need your opinion or they need your analytical advice. It's just listen to it, and at the end of the conversation they'll be like, thanks for listening. And I am guilty of that. I was the person who, whenever someone used to come to me with the problems, I used to be like, then you can solve it this way. But the fact that they're not here to get a solution of the problem, that obvious solution, they know that is the obvious solution, but they're here just to share that experience. And the only thing which I was supposed to do, which I am now, is listen. That's it. And at the end of the conversation, got the compliment, thanks for listening. That's it. So just give that book a read. It's really good. And let's move to the next part, which is self-sufficiency. And that's the very important part here. I just remember, like, you might think like I am so pampered and everything, but again, it's not. My mom used to come behind me and I've got beaten a lot of times, but that's how it works. But anyways, that's not the point. The main point is clothes, laundry, cooking, meals, everything was provided in India, to me, in my home, everything was taken care by mom, dad. Finances was taken care, like maybe you get the pocket money, or I mean, I didn't have the luxury to get a pocket money, but at least if you need anything, you know that you can ask your dad. But now if you want something, you can't, there's no one to give you that. You just have to earn it yourself. And that just makes me think that I have become so self-sufficient that I can cook my own meal. I can cook for you as well. Like, the best thing I cook is biryani, but now I have the confidence that give me any recipe, give me any ask, I can just cook, and that's best. Do my own laundry, do my own clothes, manage my room and everything. So that sense of self-sufficiency is very important. It's like the feeling where you're, oh, you know what, if nothing works out, everyone backs off, I'm still self-sufficient, I can cook for my own, I won't die, I can survive, I know how to, and put me anywhere in the country, anywhere on the globe, I'll just come out normal, because I know how to communicate, I am confident, I know how to prepare meal in the bare minimum. Like, at least I could make an omelette, that's it. That has helped. And again, also coming back to the point where I told about the journey, right, when I was traveling with my dad, the realization, it also makes me think that financially, as I said, there's no one, like now there's no one you can ask, I want this particular thing. It's just you have to provide for yourself, and that feeling is insane. And when you get that feeling, it just brings a lot of confidence and makes you more mature. Because imagine, when I came here, I was a 21-year-old who was having like 25 lakh loan, which then increased to 35 lakhs. That mental pressure was insane. And then you start earning your own, like during part-time, you start earning 1100 euros, which was about 90,000 rupees. Imagine, after expenses and everything, you would still save like 15-20,000, and managing that is very insane. You don't know how to deal with it. You don't know what to do. Should you invest? Should you, by the way, don't just pay off your loan. Should you pay off your loan? Or, I mean, on every front, it's new to you. Managing finances, managing time, managing cooking, managing everything, it's new to you. And then you become aware of everything, and then you start to dabble. Oh, if I do this goes wrong. If I do this goes wrong. If I do this goes wrong. And then you come out with a plan in terms of time and money management, and you just become self-sufficient that, okay, whatever comes, this is the plan, this is the framework I'll follow, and that's it. I don't need anyone's help to guide me through. Sometimes you do, and you can just book a one-on-one call with me, but most of the times you're like, okay, that's it. And I feel that I just became self-sufficient in the sense that I don't need anyone. Like, need is different and want is different. So yeah, the next point is self-awareness. So I think when I was back in India, I was more like rushing through things, not really thinking, because maybe I didn't have much time. Or it's strange, right? When you didn't have to do anything, when you didn't have any responsibilities, I had no time, which is very weird. But now that everything is done by myself and I don't really have to think about other things, there's not much responsibility. I don't know how, but I have more time to focus on myself. And over the course of 3 years, I've started journaling, started to realize how things work inside. Like, I got the chance to reflect inside within me, and that has just changed everything. Because now I look myself as, like, there are two myself, like two yous. So this person has to take care of this person. So it's basically my mind is trying to take care of my body, basic and reverse. So always I'll think, will this food affect me? I need to take care of myself. I need to go to the gym. I need to, like, journal down, and whatever emotional thoughts I'm going through, just have it written down and then analyze them. So I think I've become more self-aware, and the fact that I have been journaling since like 3 years, and every single event, if I just, take up and just read through it, I know exactly, what happened when, that, which is just great. And then what I was thinking about the thing, what, one sec. This is all like I've collected through, I think not 3 years, but 2.5 years. Last year was when I started doing it seriously, but like, see, and this one. Insane, right? So like, for example, 2024, I can just pull out any given day and just know, okay, what happened during that particular day, which is insane. Like, you just become so self-aware that, oh, this is how it works. Just to give you an example, I know exactly when I am about to fall sick in a given year, so now I'll be more aware, which is insane, right? So it just makes you self-aware, and then all the emotions which are associated with a particular thing, like maybe I'm feeling sad, why I'm feeling sad, how can I deal with it, what made me to feel sad, how am I getting off through it. Because see, if you want to become top 10% or top 10%, then the skills are very important. But if you want to be that top 1% or 0.1%, I think emotional intelligence is something which is very important. You should know exactly when you get angry, what are the things that are triggering you to get angry, and that just happens when you have this pile of books. I quickly figure out that this is not sustainable, because come on, I can't store a lot of books. I still prefer pen and paper, so I usually carry a book and pen with me, but mostly now I am going digital format, where I'm typing everything, and which is through my newsletters. So if you haven't subscribed, you can consider subscribing to my newsletter, which is literally take from this journal and I'm just publishing it in a digital way so that I don't have to store these books. But anyways, that just makes you realize that how self-reflection, journaling, and how it helps to shift your mindset and then to build a very good analysis about yourself. So I don't think that would have been possible if I wouldn't have came to Ireland or just stepped out of my comfort zone. Again, even that's another thing. Last year I was feeling a bit emotional toll around March, April, May, June, July, and that's when I've journaled the most. I have everything written down, and now if I feel the same feeling, I can just go back, and now I know why I felt that way back in the time and how I dealt with it. And I don't know, there's something like, if in the morning if you wake up and write something and it's just like brain dump, it is kind of like woo-woo stuff. Maybe you'll feel like he's just got the channel, so he's talking random shit, but trust me, if you try it for a year, it will change, because you will realize so many new things about yourself, how you think. That is also very important. That also you'll get to understand through journaling. So I think everyone should try it, and that has just helped me and become a more better person and reflect more on myself. So yeah, self-reflection, that's self-awareness, self-reflection, which then after analyzing, because I'm a data analyst, after doing that, now I'm self-aware about myself. Few books I just missed in the video, which I talked about, are great, is Manifest, which is really great if you are looking about confidence and then how to manifest a particular thing. It's not about just writing down in your vision board and that's it. It's also about rewiring your subconscious to make you believe that you are capable of achieving that particular thing. So that's this. Then Feel Good Productivity. This book taught me how to manage time and also deal with fear of rejection or fear of anything, basically with the Batman effect. And there are multiple models in this. So the Batman effect is basically think yourself as a superhero or someone you admire, and or the future version of yourself who is much more calm, much more patient, and one which you want to become. And then what is the importance of having a North Star and everything. So this is great one. And then this is like the classic Atomic Habits, which talks about how habits are important and how you can build them. And one point around this book is basically, like that 1:365 is like 36% more like you develop. So every single day, if you are just improving by 1%, is still a significant change. And that this has helped me realize there was a time where I wasn't going to the gym and I was just skipping the gym, and then this taught me that, okay, you know what, let's build a habit around it. Like maybe just aim for 3 to 4 days a week and start tracking that progress. And now I am here with good muscles, I guess. Maybe I don't like flexing, but anyways, this is the book. And then with the content creation, Show Your Work and Steal Like an Artist was the best, because I was so afraid to talk about what I'm doing. And even in like corporate, you need to show your work. You need to talk about to your manager that, hey bro, this is what I've done, I'm just up for a promotion. And then like they will be happy to do it because you're showing them that your work. So just don't be shy about it. And then Steal Like an Artist is more on the content side, like how you can steal. So this is the whole thing about self-awareness and everything, but that's how it works. The last is Changed perspectives. Let's start with the money mindset or the abundance mindset. So my primary income source is my full-time job, which is like a data analyst, and every time the salary gets credited, I used to spend it all. And even after doing the tracking and everything, it was always the case where at the end of the month I was like stressed. Oh, I just have few euros left, la 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 la. But then I quickly realized I think there's something fundamentally wrong. So I stopped tracking every euro, and instead of being like I am not left with any money at the end of the month, I started with believing that whenever I need money, I will have it, and I will have ample of resources and money in terms of money or resources whenever I need it, and I won't have to stress about it. And since that time, I've become like a money manifestation machine, which I like to call myself, which again comes down to building that confidence and building that self-awareness, that talking what goes in your head, how that affects your behavior, how are things getting sorted with that. So just to give you that answer, now I am much more better in terms of tracking money, and I don't feel that every month, at the end of every month, that oh, I need to save more. I don't feel that anymore. Again, I do save, I do pay off my loan, and that part is sorted. But at least I'm operating on more abundant mindset that okay, whatever it is, it will be dealt with, and I will have enough to provide for. So that's one of the perspective. With second is basically a combination of all the above things which I've talked about, which is confidence, self-sufficiency, self-awareness, communication, relationship, building confidence, everything. This boils down to this one conclusion, which is now I believe more in myself that dude, you have done so much, you have achieved so much at a fairly young age, and it's all from scratch. It wasn't handed out to you, it wasn't given you to in a silver platter. So whatever comes up, you have the capabilities. Just operate at 100% and don't just wing it, and don't do half-ass things, which I am guilty of doing. But now I am more clear about it, and I believe that I am ready to take on an entire industry, be it healthcare, be it content creation, anything. I have the capability to take on, like go head on and just take it up and just do something which is insanely great within the industry. But like even when I'm talking to you guys, you might have realized that this talk is being like a coffee chat, but on a more confident level. And yeah, that's just how it works. So these are all my learnings which I learned over the period of 3 years, and I don't think so it would have been possible if I was still in my comfort zone, still living in India. So all credits to me moving abroad, literally everything, and also my friends, family, everyone who supported in the journey. So one highlight, if you want to take away in this, is if you are thinking to move abroad, just go for it. And I guarantee you that if you do things well, initially it will be really bad, but at the end you will turn out to be a very better person, and it will just like fast track your personal growth and career growth. The underlying thought is basically moving from your comfort zone to an uncomfortable zone, and if you are doing that every single time, no one can stop you. It's just no one can stop you, literally. And if you are planning to move abroad and still in the dilemma if whether you should or should not this year, then this is the video which you need to watch. Go there, check it out. See you in the next one. Bye.